videos. And so this live will be a little different, but we're going to just be looking at updates from Gannon's case. And so they've released a few things. They've released a couple more videos and some things that they're doing. It doesn't lead us to speculate because a lot of this they're doing because they have to. And so just like in the Kelsey Barrett case, they spent 150,000 probably searching the dump with very little to show from it as far as finding anything. But they did it because they had to, because some number of leads came in, something came in that said, hey, you need to go search the dump. And so they're doing some things right now with the Gannon case that tells me that something came in, a lead came in that's credible enough that somebody saw with their own two eyes, and something that happened to lead them to search in different places. And so as they're searching for Gannon, they're using all kinds of new technology. And one of these things is these sonar camera, underwater camera things. And so we're going to watch a quick video of a couple of news organizations that released a little bit of info today about where they're searching, and as much info as we could get is why they were searching. And so I'm going to pull them up right now. Let's see what happens if we can crash the public internet with a video.
As a vivacious 11-year-old boy.
With each step, Fort Carson soldiers comb through this field, moving back branches, volunteering their time to search for Gannon.
To try and look for a little boy that they don't know. This community has just been phenomenal.
Blue ribbons cling tightly to light poles. Search crews focusing today on the Big Johnson Reservoir. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office is submerging a remotely operated sonar vehicle into areas of water.
All of us have Gannon in the forefront of our minds, and we want to bring him home to his family.
Fox 31 asking the Sheriff's Office about a key piece of evidence, the surveillance video from a neighbor.
Can you comment on the surveillance video from the neighbor?
And that's a part of the investigation. So the Sheriff's Office will not be commenting on that video.
While the El Paso County Sheriff's Office does not consider this a criminal investigation, close friend of the Stauch family, Cynthia Kaufman, is not ruling out foul play.
Perhaps at some point later, the justice system will be involved in addressing anyone who might have participated in his disappearance.
But Kaufman served a single term as Attorney General of Colorado and said her background and training leads her to believe there could be more to come from this investigation. She's urging everyone to continue to look for clues in Gannon's disappearance.
Look out for anything you think might be significant. The smallest thing that you might have seen or heard could turn out to be a piece of the puzzle that helps us find Gannon.
And the El Paso County Sheriff's Office said this incoming weather won't stop their search efforts. We're live in El Paso County. Kristen Hobrick, Fox 31.
Kristen.
So it's just a real quick update from what they're doing today. They're searching around a reservoir using these underwater cameras and sonars. I think it's probably because somebody has called in a tip, whether it be from the family, whether it be from someone in the neighborhood, that they maybe saw him going that way, maybe saw him trying to go that way. Or something leads them to believe that someone tried to dispose of something in that body of water, whether it be Gannon or evidence. They've got these new toys, I shouldn't call them toys, they're more like tools, but they're still tools that they only get to use during certain things, and new equipment. And this is why early on they didn't have access to this equipment a couple of days ago when they searched this area. And so now they've gone back, and we'll listen to another quick video that was online today. Let me see here. Oh yeah, we got one here. This is kind of gonna show a little bit more of the same, but this is the 15-minute version of the short version we just watched. So we're gonna watch this 15-minute version. I'll say a few things. We'll go over it. We'll go from there. But it doesn't sound like they have so much more info today. It's just they had some more tools available and they were out doing more searches and searching in different places that they hadn't searched before. And so we'll check this video out and see what this 15-minute version of it is. If you're just catching up, I'm in like a public space. So I'm trying to be respectful for the other people around me because it's getting later. But I wanted to do a quick update and try to go through some of the videos that have just released in the last few hours, days, and information that's coming out about Gannon's case, more information. I want to talk about a few things in this video. I watched a portion of this today at lunch. I haven't watched it all, but we're going to watch a portion of it now. But we're going to watch all of it now. 15-minute video. If you're just joining, it's 15-minute. Yeah, it's a crazy, crazy roller coaster with this case because it's a child. It's been over 10 days. It's like we're on day 9, day 10, something like that. And he went missing on January 27th. His stepmom has made statements. His real mom has made statements. His dad has made statements. There's surveillance video that already shows some maybe contradictory things to the statement. So let's watch this update from, I think this is El Paso County Sheriff's lady. So we'll check it out.
Eborahmynatt. And Sergeant Minot, what can you tell us about the latest on the search for Gannon? So just to let you know, as I said before, this is very fluid. So initially we had large groups of search parties out. And then yesterday we really had a concentrated effort in smaller groups of searches. And today we're right back to a larger group. So today we have approximately 52 volunteers. That is our search and rescue, El Paso County Sheriff's Office search and rescue team. And we also have volunteer National Guard members out here assisting. So 52 of those. We also have 4 horses out today and 2 dogs and 1 utility vehicle, a razor, is out today too.
What kind of dogs are these?
It's a part of the search and rescue team. I don't know their specialties at this point.
Do you have some folks in the area that Johnson Reservoir?
Yes, in this vicinity. So it's this entire vicinity. We were out here initially 2 days ago. Was that 2 days ago, 3 days ago?
Yeah.
Okay. And originally when we were out here, we did a thorough job. However, today we're right back to doing a secondary thorough job, not because we missed anything last time. It's because there's certain equipment that we were able to get from our collaborative partners today. So those different equipment pieces we were able to do. So again, we're going to do a secondary thorough search in this area, but it does not mean that we didn't do a good job the first time around. It's just we have different equipment today.
Why are you focusing on this area?
It's all a part of the investigation. So with those leads that I was letting you guys know, any positive lead that we get, we take those avenues until it's exhausted. We don't quit on those good positive leads that we get. We have to ensure that everything is met through that lead, and that's exactly what we're doing today.
Has weather played a role in hindering the search or delaying anything, or what?
You know, it doesn't delay it in any way, because again, as we've said, in blizzard conditions, it does not matter. If we get a good lead, we're going to be out here. But again, you can see it's colder. Different equipment is needed. Different resources, the way that we dress to prepare to come out here, possibly different foods to kind of keep our volunteers a little warm out here. So there are differences in that aspect, but as far as our search and our efforts, that is not going to stop at all.
Wait, I didn't know. Do you have
Yes.
In the update yesterday, you talked about how the search and the investigation are happening simultaneously. How is that affecting resources?
Just to let you know, we have a great number of resources right now. So right now in a different office, a secondary location, we've got the investigative piece. We've got the FBI assisting us there, and they're working right now. They're brainstorming. They're doing a lot of different things, and different folks within that are assigned to different tasks. So again, that's going on in those closed door rooms, and then here is that other secondary parallel, like I said, with they're going parallel with each other, is continuing out here in this effort.
Can you talk about how wide this group of volunteers searching is out here? Are the majority of them local, or do you have volunteers who have come from farther places?
So we have had the Douglas County Search and Rescue Team assist us. We've also had the Fremont County Sheriff's Office Search and Rescue Team assist us. So it's going as far as those reaches, and we have so much support, not only from the law enforcement resources, but also county resources, and we have the community support, which is wonderful. And so again, the positive leads that we can get, any bit of information can help in this case. And we encourage those folks that actually have good, legitimate, credible information that, like I said, when they've seen things with their own eyes, they've witnessed different things. If they call that into our tip line, we will absolutely look into those leads. So we entrust that the community will continue to do that and help us out with that.
We talked about the stealth home, and will detectives be there today?
They possibly will be. So you might see the crime lab off and on at the Stauch home, and that is all a part of the investigation. And they're collecting different pieces, and it is a big, large puzzle, and we're trying to put all of those pieces together. Our number one goal at the Sheriff's Office is to bring Gannon home safely. Every single one of us that has been a part of this investigation, a part of the search efforts, all of us have Gannon in the forefront of our minds, and we want to bring him home to his family.
At this point, is it still just a missing persons case, or has it turned criminal in any way?
No, it is still considered a missing persons case, endangered child at this point. No. I'm not really sure, but it is very important to kind of give them space. So as a media outlet, if you guys could do us a favor and give the family some space. This is a time that is very difficult for them. It is an emotional roller coaster, as you can imagine. I couldn't imagine what the family's going through. And so if you could give them a little bit of space, we would appreciate that as an agency. And also, as far as where they're staying, I don't know.
Can you give us a comment on District Attorney Dan May being at the home for an hour last night?
And he did stop by, that's correct. And that doesn't change our focus. And the district attorney's office is assisting us. So they're assisting by taking those tips and assisting in any effort that we might have. So they are helping us out. It doesn't change anything in this case, though. So it is still considered a missing person, endangered child at this time. We don't have a specific name for that task force, but as far as different tasks go, in this investigation, that's more than likely what he was talking about, but there's not a specified task force per se with their assistance.
We've seen detectives come out with bags and all the different stuff as part of the investigation. Can you just shed any light on if that's typical, or is this more than normal coming out?
And again, we want to be very careful, and we want to make sure that these folks are experts in the field. They go out there to the home and they're ensuring that every piece is identified. And so I can't speak on the pieces that they're removing from the home and exactly what they're looking at, because again, all of that is part of the investigation.
You talked about credible tips earlier. Can you just reiterate to the community how important it is to not spread the rumors? Obviously, we saw the press release you guys sent out yesterday about rumors, and just talk about that and how it could affect your guys' investigation.
Yes, so as an example, when those tips come in, we have a spreadsheet built. We have to enter every tip that we receive, and then we have to decide which one is credible, which one is not. We have received things as, somebody just giving us kind of suggestions. Somebody called in and said to search every trunk in the city. And so we have to then take that, log it in, put it all in, then have a conversation with someone else on if we're going to do this or we're going to take this lead. That takes precious time away from the investigation, even as simple as a suggestion. We're not asking for suggestions. We're not asking for theories or speculation. We are asking for factual information that you saw with your own eyes. That is what we need. And if you waste the time of these detectives, you're taking time away from the potential of us finding Gannon. And it's so important that you understand that. Your speculations and your theories that you have on your private groups are one thing, but when you reach out to law enforcement and you leave those messages, understand we have to do the extra due diligence into looking at those tips. So please, please, only credible, factual information.
How long are the search and volunteers going to be working out here today? And do you expect to come back? This is your second time, as
You know, there have been times they were out here for 10 hours, 12 hours, and it depends. It depends on the efforts. We have, again, a pool of 500 plus community volunteers that at any point, if we decide to go to larger areas, if we decide to have the assistance of those individuals, we will reach out to them. But 500 plus from our community, again, is a huge positive effort, and we appreciate the community by doing that.
Can you comment on the surveillance video from the neighbor and just the fact that he's saying that the timestamp just doesn't match up with the statement that Gannon's stepmother had given?
And that's a part of the investigation. So the sheriff's office will not be commenting on that video or confirming any parts of that video at this time.
The person who had that video, he said that investigators didn't approach his house and ask for that surveillance video until the Friday following the Monday when Gannon was reported missing. Why did it take so long?
Again, I don't know the specifics. I don't even know if that's true. It's a part of the investigation.
You mentioned different technology tools because of the weather. Can you go into what those kind of specifically are, what your search looks like?
Yeah, and I won't be able to go into those specifics. It is through a fire department. And so I'm not sure what kind of equipment it is or the specifics of it. More than likely, we'll get that information and put that in our daily press release on this later. But I don't have the specifics of what they're using.
I think you've spoken to drones being used in the search. We hear helicopters, planes flying over. Anything in regards to that being used in the search?
Are we using that today?
We're not using helicopters today, no, or drones today.
So no helicopters, no drones today, but we have used them in the initial 2 days.
Drones, not helicopters.
We had Flight for Life on one day assisting with the search.
Speaking to the location of where we are you able to speak to the reservoir and how that kind of plays into the search or the efforts today?
You know, right now it's a large piece that is frozen, and maybe that equipment that we're utilizing is going to be used for those removal of the big blocks of ice there. I'm not, again, sure if that's the case, but we'll let you guys know. We'll give you guys an update if that is the case, but it is frozen right now.
We know Gannon relies on certain medication, and we can't get into that with HIPAA, but is it thought to be that could be life-threatening if he's not able to get his medication now for the past 10 days?
And we won't be able to release the information on the special medication he takes.
Is it life-threatening, or is it vital for his?
You know, I don't believe it is, but I'll get a confirmation on that.
Okay, talk about the command center. Talk about where we are. The
Yes.
community's involvement. Got here a little bit late. Go over that
So
again.
absolutely. So currently we have 52 volunteers out. That's search and rescue as well as volunteer National Guard folks out here. And you know, the weather changes as far as the attire that they have. We have to ensure certain things are told to the volunteers before they go out, because again, that could potentially cause them some medical issues or some concerns if they're not bundled up appropriately. Other than that, we are out here doing a secondary thorough search. We've been out here before, but the reason why we're out here doing that secondary search is because of special equipment we were able to get from a collaborative partner of ours.
Saw the sheriff's office for the horse trailer. Are they on mounted patrols?
Yes, so the mounted trailer that you see back here is from our mounted unit. So we have 4 of those horses out today with deputy sheriffs that are their handlers.
And with weather expected to move in, what are the difficulties that are going to be enhanced, moving forward?
So again, the weather will not deter us from the search. It will not stop us from searching for Gannon. We are going to be out here regardless. We're just going to end up adding more layers possibly to our attire and doing some other things to ensure that we're warm and we're safe. But again, we are all in this for Gannon and for his family, and we appreciate the community support in this effort, and we will keep you guys updated. Again, anytime we have any big updates or even slight updates, we'll put that out, and that's credible from the sheriff's office.
And are there divers in the water? Have you put divers in the water yet?
No.
The
I'm not sure because it's frozen again. It's frozen solid right now,
Not at
so
this point.
not at this point. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. And again, every person that has effort into this investigation has Gannon at the forefront of our minds because we want to bring him home safe to his family.
And going off that, we know the community is just heartbroken over this, and they probably feel helpless in some way, wanting to do something. Do you know if the family is in need of anything at this time that community members?
I can ask them. I can definitely reach out to the family to see if there is some sort of support, and we could put that on our Twitter if that is the case. So I'll reach out to the family today to see if that is something that they need. Thank you for asking.
Cooperating in the investigation.
Yes, yes. Okay.
If anybody wants to help out, you can't just hit the woods, right? You got to get certified.
There's a vetting process, and so right now we have 500 plus volunteers, citizen volunteers, and there is a vetting process, and that's for the safety of all of those individuals that's involved in the search. And so that application can be found on our Twitter page, and then just complete it. You'll get an email response if you are cleared and ready to go, and then we just have that pool kind of on standby in case we do need them.
I know that earlier you said that you can't speak to the specific training of the dogs that you have seen out here, but do you know, I mean, do they have a sense of Gannon that they are kind of using in their search efforts today, or is there something else that they're assisting?
You know, I'm not sure. Initially, I know the first day that they used the dogs, they did get a scent, and so I don't know how it is today. And I'm not sure if those type of dogs that are out today has that type of training or what the training is to, specifically. So I'll find that out for you too and give you guys an update.
I hate to go here, but at this point, are we still considering that Gannon is alive in this as we search?
There's everybody involved in this has that hope, and absolutely we believe he is, and that's what we're searching. We're searching so immensely because we all believe that he is.
How about expanding the search? Hotel rooms, places.
So again, it's all leads. So we're basing this off of good leads that we get.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
So they didn't give us much info on what was going down. They really kept it pretty generic when it came to the information they gave out, except that they're saying they're only doing this because they feel like they have a credible tip. I know that they've gotten like 200 plus tips or 300 plus tips. And then she said if somebody called in and said, search every trunk in town, that they have to look into that. And so that's just, it's sickening, one, that people would just randomly do that. And then to understand what they do and how long it takes them to clear something. So I didn't see anything in chat pop up during this that just really struck me as some breaking info that anyone had. I know there are a ton of internet. I haven't even read them. I'm not even like, I think I've joined 2 or 3 pages, but I'm not even involved in any of those groups because they continually just regurgitate misinformation. So, the video that they won't talk about actually screams a lot. And so even though they don't talk about the video, even though they won't go into detail about those videos, it actually screams volumes of information about how and they're going to use that video. If they use that video and then they're searching in this general area because they had a phone ping, or they had some sort of, your phone will ping even when you're not using it. If you send a text message, your phone's going to ping. And so they could be searching this area just close by because they had a phone ping in the area over by there. These are things that we're not going to find out until but I can tell you right now, as they've been going through the house, they've been gathering information like phone numbers, bills, any sort of debt they may be in, any sort of insurance they may have had, anything that could push towards motive, could push towards an answer for why something like this would happen. That's what's happening at the house. They're looking into a lot of stuff. Now, a lot of people are already speculating about what happened, where it happened, when they left, what happened, how all that stuff comes. Even the neighbors, the close neighbors, are giving the video out, talking about it, doing interviews about it. And so they have found enough information to think that something went wrong. She played off the whole Dan May thing a little bit, and she kind of wanted to skirt around the issue of saying, hey, it doesn't mean anything. He just showed up. He's part of the task force. It doesn't change what they're and how they're treating this. But I'm telling you, Dan May doesn't just go out to a crime scene because there's not a crime been committed. And so whether they treat it as a missing persons, whether they're treating it as a foul play, endangered persons, no matter what, Dan May is there because there is something that investigators want him to look at. If they can bring charges, if this is enough evidence, could we piece this together? So what could really be happening is they know something at foul play, they know something has gone wrong, and now they're trying to piece together this little puzzle with all this little information that they have. Unless someone says something, unless someone comes forward, it will be difficult. And so you can have all this information, you can have cell phones and pings and video camera footage and all this stuff, but if you don't know what it means, it's just random stuff that can be explained away. And so they're not going to rush the issue. I can guarantee they have a close eye on stepmom, dad, mom, anyone close to Gannon, they have a close eye on. Now, the question lies, I'm telling you, there are things that are happening all around us that we have no clue about. There are people that live in neighborhoods, people that live around us that we have no idea who those are. And so there could be others involved outside of the stepmom. And so they have to look at that. They have to investigate that. They have to keep that open until they are lock solid on what's going down. So did you catch it when she said there's a strong belief he is alive? Yeah, I did catch that. And I don't know I don't know what kind of information they would have that would say that, unless there's a party here that we are not privy to. There could be someone that's a party to something that we aren't privy to. And they could have information, obviously, that we don't have that says otherwise. But, we're going on he went missing on the 27th. We're going on 10 or 15 days, or 10 days, 9 days, something like that. It's normal for them to stay in the house while they investigate if the law enforcement doesn't think there's some sort of major crime that happened there. So if they don't think family members, if they don't have to rule out DNA, if they don't have to rule out stuff, they can't just kick people out of their house. And so it's normal if they think that maybe the crime didn't happen there. If it was still an active crime scene, but see, they're not even. And they're saying out loud that they're not investigating this as a criminal investigation. It's missing persons. It's this endangered person. So, 11-year-old boy missing for 9 days, 10 days, without prior history and without prior knowledge of what's going on. Has he run away before? Has he been involved in things before? I'm not 100% sure on any of that. Hey, if you're new to the channel, today's a little weird, different. I'm in a Airbnb that I rented, but there's a bunch of people that are Airbnb in here, so I'm in like a public area, trying to stay a little quieter. I'm still being loud too. They're not calling it a crime right now. They're saying that it's like a missing persons, that it's something, it's endangered person, missing person. They're not looking at this and saying it's a murder, it's a homicide, it's a missing person. They're calling it a missing person, but they said it's not a criminal. They haven't pointed to anyone yet. I know there's a lot of information coming out. There's a lot of information moving forward on the internet, but the truth is law enforcement hasn't even released any of that information. And so, craziness. I lost your comments. I'm trying to read your stuff. I don't think that there's anything wrong with speculating. I think you got to be careful when you cross the line that you point the finger at people that we don't even have evidence on. We have a hacked up video that shows a hacked up something. We don't even have evidence on any sort of real background to that video. All we have is one neighbor saying he has this video and he showed it and he recognizes it. People recognize it. He showed it to the dad. The police have it. The question is, I'm not giving stepmom a pass. First of all, I already talked about her in the last interview, in the interview she did. And I'm going to tell you, there are a lot of things that are wrong with that interview. One, it's a poorly done, unedited interview. Two, the way that she wouldn't look at the camera. This is not good. This is like a strong no. Like, she can say whatever's coming out of her mouth. The fact that she can say, oh, it was because we fear. Well, why do you fear? If you know you're innocent, and that's what I can now sit back and say, we've watched victims be accused, slammed, berated, and then all of a sudden, boom, with the Heidi Brizard case, we saw him hammer Shane, then all of a sudden, boom, something else, right? And so you gotta be careful, because you could hammer, and then with the left punch out of the gut, it could be a best friend. It could be someone else. So you gotta be careful when you hammer at people, because we have very little evidence. And the media is trying to hammer that this is social media. Social media is saying this. Social media is doing this. Flip side, we could find out tomorrow that they have video of her doing this, and this, and we're all sitting around thinking, oh, look at this little shadowy video, and they have clear evidence that points. But until they have that clear evidence, they're not going to go arrest her. They're not going to go rumor is she's lawyered up. That could be good, bad, or indifferent. She's already claimed they violated some rights. chance. And so you gotta wonder, what is she setting them up for, you know? And so some craziness. It could come out of nowhere. It literally, something could come out of nowhere. Email Dad, he's not home. What are you trying to email me? I'm the interview. What? I'm that interview. She brought her daughter in. She was answering. Yeah, she was. The problem is the stepmom tried to get the internet to apologize to her. And we talked about this. The internet is not going to apologize to anybody. And so, like, she got all freaking worried about what the internet thought about her. And she's trying to get the internet to apologize. And so she's trying to bring in proof. Hey, he came home from the hike. He did this. I just want an apology, you know. And so it got stupid. It got crazy. It wasn't a good interview. And she just kept going at it. That doesn't mean she's guilty. Doesn't look good, but it doesn't mean she's guilty. God, I can't. It's hard for me to believe that someone could do something to their children, right? It's hard for me to believe that, and so you try to give that, but there are some crazy, wicked people in the world, and so it's craziness out there. Jacqueline says, "Bullshit. Social media is on it. They're on it until they're not. That's the problem. I've seen social media do both. Sometimes it bombs them right in the right alleyway, straight up, and then sometimes it's way off in left field. Now, calling the sheriff's department with every one of your social media speculations is just ridiculous. And I could understand why that lady gets upset if they get tips about. But they got to check everything. What if it's some sick bastard saying, hey, check the freaking trunks? You got to check everything. And that's what she's trying to tell on these interviews. I can respect that. I think it's more of a political move they're making with all this. Oh, we took the cameras and the drones out. We're doing helicopter searches. They're doing all of this for the political move that says, hey, we're doing this to find Gannon. And you can't fault them for it. They're doing everything they can. On the flip side, they're doing everything. They're looking at internet profiles. They're searching cell phones. They're searching, looking at all that stuff. And then they have to go out and do this public stuff. And if they just went out and did this public stuff and didn't say anything, the press would then start running crazy. So that's why they do the press conferences. This is kind of what we can tell you we're doing. This is why we can't tell you anything else. So it is what it is. All right, I'm going to slam this thing down. It's been a short night. Little information, very little information came out today. They did some extra searches around the house, so they're still focusing around that house, which makes me think that everybody wants to talk to me. Needs to tell you something. Paige is texting me right now. That's the problem. If you want to tell me something, the best way so that I don't have to disturb everybody and y'all call in, you can come in through this link. If you want to come in through this link, you got to have a web camera and a microphone and headphones. If you want to talk to me, you can come in through this link. Just put it in the chat. Copy that link, throw it in there, and I'll let you come in. I'm sorry if I'm disturbing you. I'm sorry if I'm being too loud. All right. Better make it quick, though. They better get in quick. They better know how to use that freaking web browser if they're going to come in, because I'm about to call it a night anyway. Absolutely. Paige, you're out of luck. You can do it on your phone, but I think you have to have an app or something. I try to give you a way to call in. Quit texting me. Just teasing. All right. Have a good night. We'll do some more. We'll do some interviews. We'll do some split stuff. I still got a bunch of co-hosts to get through. So we'll be I keep watching. Oh, you can watch that interview over and over. Yeah, the whole thing with the no tears, man. When you get into the situation like this, you don't even know how you're going to respond until you're in that situation. And so the idea that anyone can judge anyone because they don't have tears in their eyes or they're trying to judge emotions, you just don't even know. That's what I'm saying, Beth. Paige, if you have like crazy good info, call the police. Don't call me. My email is therealdadwiththephone@gmail.com. I'll put that up in the bottom. If you wanna, I'll read your email tomorrow or tonight when I'm laying in bed. Yeah, you can ticker if you want to email me, or you can PayPal me to that. How about we just change that? Oh, this is my email. PayPal's right there, though. Let me see what your comments. Yeah, if you want to email me, you can email me. Go on Brian Ladd's channel. His dream was AV. Oh, so you're like, listen, man, I've heard every psychic, every dream reader, they tell the same story. Every time someone goes missing, they just do it in a new way. I have nothing against it. We've had psychics on, but I'm sure. Only thing is that when you're talking about these things, like you said, they can say, go search every trunk. We're not going to know, right? Like the cops can't go search every trunk. So is the Big Johnson a big body of water? Let's grab it real quick. I'll grab that. I'll bite. I'll grab it. I'll play. Let's go to Google Earth real quick. I don't think it's a huge body of water. I know where it's at, but I've never been there. It ain't something I've been fishing on, and I've been fishing on a lot of the lakes around there. So it's not a huge body of water, but we'll go grab it. So we're right here. Oh, let me pull up. It's not a huge body of water. I'm looking at it right now. I won't pull it up for you. Screen share. Chrome, Google Earth, share. So let me zoom in here. So where their housing development is right here. This is the new where this is right here. This is the ranch. This is where their housing development is. If you go right over this housing development, you got this is going to be Fountain Ditch. That's Fountain Creek. You got some ponds right here. Couple of retaining ponds right there. Let's see, Johnson. What did they call it? Johnson something. Johnson Reservoir. Can't be that close. Let's see. That would not be the lake we're trying to find. Is it Johnson? Johnson. Let's see. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Big Johnson. It looks dry, is what that thing looks like. So whenever they took this, this is dry, Big Johnson Reservoir. Let's see how far this is away from. All right, so it looks like a dry. All right, so it's not super close, but it's not super far. So this is where their houses are, and then this is Big Johnson Reservoir where they're searching. But look, there's some other little spots. This is the reservoir right here. It's probably got more water in it right now, but whenever they took this picture, it was definitely dry. It's 4 miles away. It's frozen. That's just Google Maps, not a real-time map. No, it's not a real-time map. That's what I'm saying. It's not a real-time map. This was taken before the houses even, let's see if we do like a street view in front of this thing. I don't know if it's got street view. What's up with this nonsense? Okay, so there we go. So this is the spillway side. So let's exit street view. Let's see if we can get a side that we can actually see the reservoir. Because obviously the street view is closer. Let's see if we can see it from here. What the crap? There we go. Yeah, you can't even see it from here. Let's exit. Whoa. Trying to get a street view where I can see nothing. don't think I can see it from here. Let's see. Oh, there you go. That's the best you're gonna get. So that's the body of water they're searching. So that's the body of water they're searching. It's not a huge body of water. The big Johnson Reservoir is not that big of a Johnson Reservoir. Let's see. From right here, the house is gonna be right here. So let's drop a street and see. We can only go to right here. Oh, see. See, it doesn't even show any houses out here yet. But you can see like they already started building houses right here. And so their neighborhood is like all this right here. It's all built out already, but you can't drop a street view on that yet. And if you come down, those houses disappear. So you can see how they've already grown this all up. And this is where the ranch, or this is what they are calling where he lives. His subdivision is right here now. But Google Maps doesn't show it because it's just grown up that fast over there. And so there's a whole neighborhood over there. Man, there's like a bunch of snow coming into Denver right now. It's getting slammed. All right, guys, we did a little quick Google Earths of all that little deal. I'm calling it a night. I've already gone longer than I wanted to go tonight. But you can see like all these houses here, all these houses have been built up. And there's even more houses that have been built up. And so there's like a little dry creek bed that goes through there. But the big Johnson Reservoir that they're searching is right here. You can't see the water, but there's water in that reservoir, and you can see it from a street view right about, let's see if we can see it from the street view here. Oh, we can probably get right to here. Oh, so the reservoir's over the hill there. All right, I'm out. Hey, thanks for joining me tonight. You can find all my links at the bottom. Follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all that. You see my PayPal. If you want to throw some money in the bucket, you can throw some money in the bucket. We'll be back later. It's been fun. It's been real. Thanks for watching Dad with a Phone. We're out.